Alright, well, this is my second video here for the Kalamazoo coal stove. She looks a little different this time, and I'm really fatigued this time. For those of you that didn't know, I ended up last Sunday, I had to go into the hospital. I was having a bunch of complications, heart was screwing up, everything like that. Was in and out of the hospital this week. They admitted me for a little while. It turned out that I got pericarditis in my heart, so if I look a little worn out, that's why. I haven't got nearly as much done today as I normally would, but I don't have the energy that I normally have. But I guess you will have that whenever you're having a heart problem. Anyways, this little girl here is coming along quite a bit. I got I guess 1.5 coats of paint on it. I could use to put a little bit more on that area right there, and some little other areas. I got the doors cured. This paint, you have to cure it, like most high temperature paints. Anyways, I ended up probably this stove is gonna kill me, I swear, because the hypothesis is that the reason why my heart got screwed up was from breathing in too much rust and sandblasting dust and galvanized steel, all the good stuff. That's at least one of the theories, among many. But whatever, I'm determined to get it done. Tore my meniscus already moving this thing, so why not die fixing it? So anyways, I gotta do weld this one hinge down here. If I aim my camera right, gotta weld that hinge down here, put that in there. I gotta find another one of those these pins. I got one missing. I don't know where I'd put it. I gotta weld that hinge into there. Well, I kind of have to fabricate a new clip for that. Now, last time I didn't get the opportunity to do this effectively. I wanted to show you what this thing actually looks like on the inside and why I want to use this. Now, I found out that they also call these stoves Octopus furnaces. That was a little bit of tidbitty information I didn't know before. So, check this thing out. Look down in there. That is huge. It's absolutely enormous. Fire brick's got a little bit of damage there, but experience has told me that these old stoves like this, surprisingly, even as cracked as that is, as long as you're not throwing logs at it, they'll hold together. I still might do a little bit of patchwork in it, but nothing too prompt. You gotta put the bar on it down there, a couple little tidbitties. Now, the interesting part is, aside from this piece of steel, that piece of steel there, I'm actually going to use that to fabricate the clip. Hold on, let me put this cigarette down here. Here I am with heart problems, I'm smoking a cigarette. Guess if it ain't one thing that's going to kill you, might as well be another. Anyways, so this piece of steel here, this big one, we're gonna take that. It's got some holes in there, I'll take care of that. But we're gonna take that and we're gonna put it on this front face. You see this little flange up here, that's something I fabricated. No, I'm not a welding expert by any means. I'm also using a flux core welder, so that ain't the best welder on the planet, but whatever. Anyways, that flange is going to go in the middle of this flat piece of steel. And that's nice heavy steel. It's, I don't know, it's pretty thick, whatever it is. I'm going to stick that on there, over that porthole, if you will. And it might look a little strange, or might sound a little strange, but trust me, it'll be fine, and it'll work really well. This piece right here is going to go on the front of that. I'll cut it to length, whatever I need it to be. And then that's going to wrap up this way, and then out like that. That might sound really weird to most people. Why in God's earth would I set a coal stove or any kind of stove up with a bunch of angles like that? There's a really good reason for that, believe it or not. I had used this stuff. By the way, if people can't tell, I'm take an express interest in messing with different heating methods. I did a waste oil furnace years ago out of a hot water tank, and I experimented around with that. I probably should have kept going with it and then put a patent on my design, because I had come up with a design that made it really efficient. Anyways, I digress. When I was using they call a salamander, when I say salamander, these are just old salamanders. They also called them penguins. I wish I had one nearby to show you, but it's not electric based or anything. It just runs. It's old fashioned. You put kerosene in a big bottom pot, and you can also mix waste oil with it. Pretty much anything you want. Anyways, so I found one of these off a guy that had a warehouse full of them in Butler, PA, and assembled this little mess. And I tied it into the chimney flue of my coal stove too, just to see if I could run them both at the same time. Turns out that I could. Not recommended for most people, but it was something interesting to mess around with. What I found out was, because the way I had to do my chimney flue, I was actually using one main chimney flue, and then the salamander was just had this piece of flex tube here that was curved, that just went into that chimney flue with a T. The cool thing was when I was running that salamander, I could go up to the top of the chimney flue. Probably not the best thing to be breathing in, but I could go up there, and whenever I go to clean the chimney flue, and there really wasn't a whole lot of heat that was escaping up the chimney flue. However, this right here, these ridges had all turned purple, and it's because of the surface area of this chimney flue, this flex pipe, stainless steel flex chimney flue. It's got all that surface area like that, and it was doing a really good job at dispersing all the heat that I had and keeping it from going out the chimney, basically what it comes down to. So I figured, well, if it worked really well for that, let's see how well it works for this. I kind of have to lower the profile of the Kalamazoo here, because I'm just kind of working in tight quarters here in the addition of my house. This is obviously my work area, part of my house, but it's not the widest place in the world, and I just don't have a whole lot of room to work with. So I think this is going to be the best way to do it. The only thing I'm really concerned about is that a 6-inch flue in that flange up there, that's set for 6 inches, isn't going to be quite enough diameter. I'll just have to see. I figure, worst case scenario, I can always make the hole bigger on my piece of sheet metal there, and see how it works. But either way, kind of excited. I've made some decent headway with it. That just to make a quick remark here, using this Rutland high temperature paint. That seems to be pretty decent paint. I don't recommend the Rust-Oleum high temperature paint. I've There's been times where I've used Rust-Oleum and had good results overall as a product, but Rust-Oleum, high temperature paint, seems like you have to redo it every year. You kind of get what you pay for. That stuff, that Rutland there, even though it's in pint containers, about one whole pint had practically covered this entire thing. I mean, you could see, some of the areas where, obviously I need to hit it a second time, but it covered really well, very surprisingly. And I had actually taken these doors after I had painted them. They could use a second coat too. This one's a little dusty, but after I had painted them, I set them right directly on top of the coal stove over there, and I figured that would be a good litmus test to see if the paint would hold up. And sorry, I'm getting out of breath here a little bit. My heart's starting to go a little funny. Anyways, but it didn't melt or anything like that. You can kind of see that there's up here is a second coat of the Rutland, non-cured, and then this is I don't know if I put 2 coats on the door or not. I want to say I only put about 1 coat on the doors because these are sandblasted. But anyways, that's 1 coat, and then that's after it's cured. So there's a little bit of a color difference. I'm hoping that I'll get a little bit more of that satin, kind of a little bit of that glossy sheen in there than what we have on here. But if this is what I only end up with, I'm fine by that. Really, ultimately, what I'm mostly worried about is the longevity of it. Oh, just being out of breath stuff stinks. So, anyways, but yeah, we patched up the corner here. It's been an interesting project. I will not, however, recommend to anybody. That little section right here was initially galvanized. Actually, both sides of that was galvanized. I did not realize how bad welding galvanized is for you until I did some serious homework whenever I was sitting in a hospital bed. Yeah, I don't recommend that to anybody. It's probably not a good idea. It wasn't one of my wisest life decisions. Yeah, I won't be doing that again. Been a pretty awful week. So, other than that, we're gonna get this thing up and going. I don't know how far I'll get with it today. I'm pretty wiped out. I just don't have the energy that I normally got. Another thing I'm really curious about with this, that I'm kind of stumped about, is you see this lever right here. That's obviously for opening up the top draft. And then the bottom here, it doesn't have that. Instead, it's got this little hook system. And I don't know if that hooks on to there. There was a chain that was here, but I don't know if the chain hooked to that hook and went onto that little hole there, and then they kind of worked in sync, or what. Since these doggone things are so old, it's hard to find information. I kind of laugh at everybody thinks that there's this thing called Google that has every answer on the planet, but it's just not true. Especially with old information like coal. Nobody really messes around with that stuff as much anymore. It's still there, but not quite in the same capacity like I am. The old timers, and old timers aren't programmers. So I'm just gonna have to throw this out there and hope somebody stumbles across this and maybe can give me a little bit of information about how that was set up. Well, in the meantime, between time, my arm's starting to hurt. Hopefully I'll get this thing wrapped up sometime here in the next couple weeks or something, and without any further injury, because that's getting really tiring. Alright, well, YouTube and Facebook friends and other people on the interwebs, until next time.